Hello, friends. Hello, listeners, dear warriors, caregivers, all the sickle cell community out there across the world. Hello. I hope you're all doing well and keeping safe. Welcome to this second edition of Sickle Cell Mentors with me, Ayok Bison and Chantal. And today we have as guest Folusho Adeosun. Hello again, and thank you for joining us. I hope I pronounced your name well.
Well, thank you, Ayub. My name is Folusho Adeosun. So
Okay.
you
So is there
actually
any pet
can
name?
try.
Because here we like pet names.
Okay. Well, it's just an acronym for my name. The full name is Mufolo Adeosun. So the acronym is Musho. So if you prefer that, I think I should do.
So we
So
could call
aside
you
that, you can
Musho for
also
short.
yeah, yeah, sure, Musho for
Great,
sure.
great. Because we like pet names, so it's easier to say, and so we sure we don't ruin your name because we know back home in the continent in Africa we have very beautiful and meaningful names. Sorry to those
Yeah.
listening out of Africa, but I know you also have beautiful and meaningful names too. Great. So our guest today is quite unique. So we're going to just let him introduce himself. So can you just present yourself so our audience know who is the guest today, mentioning your professional merits, if there are any awards, what you do, and who you are.
Okay. Thank you very much for having me. My name is Folusho Adeosun. The full name is actually Mofolo Adeosun. So I'm a professional sickle cell disease coach, and I'm the founder of Mosho Adeosun Health Initiative, MAHI, and also currently serving as the team lead for Axis Advocacy African chapter. Well, based on my personal experience, my lived experience, I specialize in helping warriors, people living with sickle cell disease, and how to like navigate daily life with confidence, clarity, and courage. Actually, also develop toolkits and resources tailored for African communities, and also consult on the community-based and AI integrated medical solutions for sickle cell disease warriors. So, as far as merits and awards, I really don't dwell much on merits and awards. I just do what I do just to be able to help sickle cell warriors navigate um, the daily lifestyle, and manage the complications. Actually, my greatest honor as regards what I do is trying to impact on the lives of warriors across Africa and beyond through my.
Okay.
So that's just briefly about me, what I do.
Wow, that's impressive. You said you are
Thank you.
a SCD coach. Now, could you
Yes,
just tell us
I
what's your relationship with sickle cell disease and how has it been living with it and then doing what you do?
Okay, thank you. My relationship with sickle cell disease is quite personal, and because I live with sickle cell disease myself,
Okay.
and I lost a brother due to the complication at an early stage in life. So it's not just professional for me; it's personal. It's a lived experience and deeply emotional. So every day I wake up with a mission to transform pain into purpose and use my journey to light the way for others. So living with this link has been challenging, yes, but it has also shaped me into a resilient, empathic, and fiercely determined individual. So that's basically just my relationship with sickle cell disease.
So our condolences for the loss of your brother. I know how that could be, losing a
Yeah.
sibling to sickle cell disease. Now, stigma is one of the issues, that people living with sickle cell disease get to face a lot, or even people who care for patients with this red blood disorder face. What has been your experience with stigma over the years?
Well, stigma stigma is quite real, and it runs deep. It runs very deep because I've experienced it all phases and walks of life, and whether it's school, work, or healthcare settings. It's been very very crazy, and one of the things I experienced growing up was the stigma from healthcare providers. When you get to the hospital, they see you like somebody that's actually seeking drug, or somebody that is just exaggerating um, his or pain. So I mean, that alone will actually just want to drive you away from healthcare workers. It might eventually just drive you down the rabbit hole, which
Yeah.
is actually very bad thing. And when you're talking about the workspace, a lot of colleagues or co-workers may actually see you as somebody that's lazy or unreliable. You understand, when you're working with them, or probably you have a crisis episode, or you have fatigue and you need to pace yourself at work, they may actually just think it's being exaggerated, and you are an unreliable team member to work with and all that. So I mean, it's quite traumatizing when you think about it, and a lot of warriors go through that on a daily basis. And when you talk about the way people, maybe your friends and all that, growing up, even at a very, very, very young age. I'm talking about the primary school level now. You know, understanding what it really means to have sickle cell disease, and you have friends that, okay, maybe um, you want to play with them, and they discover that you have jaundice and all that, and they'll feel like, okay, you're different, you look different and all that, and they will ostracize you,
Yeah.
which you get. So yeah, all those kind of things build up to affect somebody that's living with sickle cell disease. So stigma is it's real. It runs very very um, deep in everybody. So, but I faced it, and I chose to confront it head on, not just for me, but for every warrior who couldn't speak up. Do you understand? That's one of the reasons I became a coach, to just to change the narrative for people living with SCD, from shame to strength, so that you can actually just be able to speak for yourself, stand up for yourself, let them know that it's not like you're lazy, it's not like you're not capable, but You have to be able to actually stand up people that want to stigmatize. Let them know that okay, it's not their place to stigmatize when they don't have the facts, they are ignorant about something. So you just need to educate them, not just coil into your shell because of what they are projecting on you. You don't take what they are projecting on you. You stand up for yourself, and you confront the stigma. That's how you overpower stigmatization whenever
Right.
you are faced with it. So that's
Right.
how it's been with me.
So you said you face stigma from healthcare workers. Now, if you
Yeah.
were brought before nurses or doctors or healthcare workers as a whole to coach them, what would be the angles you would take to get them
Okay.
to understand
Yeah.
you and to understand sickle cell disease? What will you change? What would you get them to change?
Thank you very much. That's a very, very beautiful question. Well, if I'm being put in front of healthcare workers now to educate them or train them as to how to manage sickle cell disease warriors, the first thing I'll tell them is one thing you need you need to possess as as a healthcare worker is empathy. You need to be very empathetic when you're dealing with sickle cell disease warriors because we're fragile. Even a whole lot of us try to project the
Lots of
the
strength.
the strength and yeah, look, yeah, we project the strength and all that, but deep down and knowing what's inside, we're very fragile. So first thing I'll educate about, you need to be very empathetic towards every warrior you come across. You need to know that the pain is real. It's not exaggerated. And you as a professional healthcare, you need to be able to gauge how to manage situations when you see a sickle cell warrior because you need to be very tender, you need to be very gentle when you are dealing with them. And you know, there's something that there's a time I'm going to use. You need to know how to be able to triage a patient when you see them. You need to be able to gauge the level of pain and how you attend to whatever pain a patient is coming in with. Take for example now, a warrior might get to the hospital with a pain level of 8 or 9 out of 10. And at that point, you as a nurse or a doctor or healthcare worker, you need to be able to triage, okay, what level is this person at when he came in? She get you now because the whole lot of warriors who have very very high pain thresholds. They may not exhibit the level of pain they're experiencing whenever they come to the ER. For somebody like me, if I'm at an 8, I'll still act normal. Do you get what I'm saying? I'll still behave normally with you, like okay, but deep within me, I know the roof is about to go up. The roof is blowing off already. But I'm trying to comport myself based on the years of experience I've had. That okay, I mean, I'm not screaming my head off in front of the nurses. But with experience, the healthcare worker should be able to gauge that, okay, this person is just trying to hold everything in, is not in the right condition. Do you get what I'm saying now? So a nurse or a doctor or any healthcare worker at that matter should be able to triage a patient the moment you see them, and you should be able to know how to actually intervene at that point. So that's what I'll first say. Empathy. You need to have empathy as a professional healthcare worker, and you need to be able to know how to quickly triage, and you need to be very tender when you are doing that, very gentle when you are handling them. Then you need
Okay.
to be able to encourage them to always come in whenever they have pain. Don't stay away from the hospital because the longer you stay away from the hospital, the more damages you are actually
You can't
causing for
say.
yourself.
Yeah.
Because yeah,
Yeah.
so the organs, once they are not actually quickly looked at or taken care of when you're having a pain crisis, the damage sets in. So I mean, really. You need to be able to quickly just be able to triage a patient when they come in with pain. So that's what I would actually, those three things are the first things I would tell a healthcare worker to look at when I'm giving a training. And at the end of the day, what's most important is build a personal relationship with
Mm,
your patient. Let them feel welcome. Let them feel um, accommodated around you.
mm-hmm.
Not that you just give them attitude that would drive them back and want to stay away from the hospital whenever they are having pain. So that's
Yeah. You
what
said
I'll say
something
about that.
very keen there. Triage a patient's
Yeah.
pain. And there is this thing that I've observed sometimes at like a one case fits all, that sometimes there is a
Hmm.
tendency to evaluate one warrior's story or pain level and use it to measure the rest. Do you think that's a safe thing for healthcare
No,
workers to do? Like,
no, I'll,
that impression that, okay, we've seen it all. So this
uh,
person came yesterday and they were like
no,
this, so we think you're the same. What do you think about that?
no. You can use a one shoe size fits all for everybody because even sickle cell disease varies from one individual to the other. Whether you have sickle cell SS hemoglobin and HBSS, or you have hemoglobin and sickle cell trait, that's HBSC. You have the beta thalassemia alpha, or you have zero beta thalassemia. It varies from one patient to the other. So you can't use a one shoe size fits all for every patient you come across because even the level of pain varies. Someone with HBSS pain may be very high. The person may always be at a 10 every time they're having crisis. And still, you have people who have HBSS who have their own pain threshold at like 6 or 7 when they are having a crisis. And you also have somebody that is having HPSC who's always at a 10 as well, or always at like a 4 or 5. You understand? So you can't use one person to gauge every other patient. You need to triage on the based on an individual, based on the person that is coming in. You need to be able to gauge, you need to be able to actually differentiate the level of pain when you're handling a sickle cell patient. We all project different symptoms and different signs of crisis and different pain levels. So you, as a professional healthcare worker, need to know how to be able to handle these situations whenever they present themselves at the hospital. So you need to be able to gauge, okay, this is the approach that needs to be employed with this person, and this is what I need to use for another person. So that's what
Yeah, great.
the triage
So,
should
so
encourage.
we will be right back after this break. Hello, have you ever heard about sickle cell disease? Are you a person living with sickle cell disease, or are you caring for someone living with sickle cell disease? Are you wondering how to go about doing this? Well, we may just be able to help you. Read our online magazine, So Just Be. So Just Be is a sickle cell lifestyle magazine in which we talk about everything that has to do with sickle cell. We talk about living with sickle cell as men or women. We talk about sickle cell complications, and we propose how to live with each of these complications and how to manage it to the best of your abilities. We bring in our doctors to give us advice. We speak about the best kinds of food to eat for our little ones. We speak about love, and we speak about faith in sickle cell disease. We educate the younger ones, and of course, we talk travel. Are you somebody who is a fashionista? Come and read our fashion pages and learn how to dress chic but still keeping warm and keeping yourself healthy and protected so as not to get a sickle cell crisis. Read us on our pages on Cameo. Follow us online. We are Soldiers B, and you can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, and on LinkedIn. Read our pages now. Read Soul Just Be. Hello again, and thank you for joining us. We hope you did enjoy the little break, and we continue with our guest of the day. You are now working as a sickle cell disease coach. And is there any given time in your life when maybe you would have wanted to do something else, and did the stigma that you face or your relationship with sickle cell disease deter you from doing this? Or have you always wanted to be a sickle cell disease coach? And how has your experience with sickle cell played into you choosing your line of career?
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, two things actually made me decide to become a sickle cell disease coach. One, you asked the question whether at some point I would have actually wanted to
Wanted to do
do
something else.
yeah, I would have actually loved to do something else. I actually did something else before becoming a coach.
Okay.
I lectured at some point, and you know, when it got to the point that I was supposed to be promoted, I got overlooked. I got overpassed for other people. So that could be very discouraging as well. That's one of the things. And I've also worked in the human resources sector as well before now. And well, as an HR person, I know the intricacies of HR, especially in the Nigerian system. When you want to employ a person, the person needs to be physically fit. You get me now? And you need to be able to be up and doing, maybe climb stairs and all that. And no company will want to actually employ you when they feel you are a liability, or probably they feel you might accidentally have a situation or have an accident during work hours that they will have to pay the cost. So one of the things they will basically just stipulate is anybody we have to employ needs to be physically fit, needs to be healthy, and needs to be mentally fit as well. So those are the things they consider in Nigerian. But when it comes to a sickle cell disease warrior, we have a whole lot of complications that needs to be looked at. Aside from the fact that we have frequent crisis situations, we also have people on warriors who have avascular necrosis. And avascular necrosis is a very, very major complication when you have sickle cell disease, because if you have a necrosis of the head of the femur, there's a possibility that an accident could happen while you're climbing the stairs. So what if you fall down while while doing that, while working and all that? Because I've had that experience personally before, even as an HR person. You understand? I actually twisted my knee. My kneecap went off just about as I was about to enter my MD's office, and that led to a very major issue. And I started using the aid of a walking stick ever since. It affected my legs and all that. So all those kind of complications will be put into consideration when they're employing you, and the Nigerian system is not favoring that. So that's one of the reasons why we're actually shouting and advocating that we need an inclusive system, such that warriors can actually work and do whatever it is they want. But in the absence of that, and we actually have to thank God for the fact that, okay, now we have remote work opportunities, why people can work from home or work from wherever they have a hybrid work system. So I think that's a plus for people living with sickle cell disease at this point. So that's one of the things that happened in my own situation. So one of that reason that made me choose to be a coach was the fact that I saw a very huge gap uh, in people trying to know about sickle cell disease. There weren't a lot of SCD coaches out here in Nigeria. I don't know much about the world entirely, but even with my level of knowledge, the SCD coaches that we have out there are not that much, except for the healthcare professionals that actually have a deeper knowledge of how the human anatomy and how the body works. But individuals taking up sickle cell disease coaching is they're not that much out there. So I wanted to bridge that gap and to teach warriors how to not just survive but to thrive. You know, there was no roadmap for it. There's no support system for warriors. You understand? So I I I decided to just pick it up and teach people how to manage daily pain, the fatigue, other aspects of it. Even for the females, the menstrual pains, and then the mental strain it has on individuals, the dating aspect of it. There's so much more that people need to learn about sickle cell disease. So I took it upon myself to start coaching. You know, to create content, to educate, even not only about how to manage your lifestyle, but to learn about the complications because a lot of people still don't know that a lot of complications attached to sickle cell disease. So if you look at my LinkedIn page, you'll see that even as I'm advocating for a better quality of life for warriors, I still take my time to educate on the complications and how to manage it because there are a lot of complications. We have the renal complications, we have the cardiovascular complications, the neurological
Dental and
aspect of it,
eyes
a
and
whole lot of it.
a lot
Yeah.
more. I just
So
discovered one
yeah,
yesterday, bone fracturing.
yeah, it is. So there's a lot more. So I just taken it upon myself to start educating on the complications one after the other, so that even warriors that are not aware of the fact that okay, this might be happening in my system or might be happening to my organs, they need to start learning it so that they will know how to manage the situations whenever they encounter those situations. So those are the two major reasons why I decided to go into sickle cell disease coaching.
So
So that's
you have been doing this all this while. How do you manage everything? Um, Coaching, and then you have to at the same time it's like lecturing too, educating, and then creating
yeah.
content, and then managing you are a whole big white topic, you as a warrior, and as a person living with sickle cell disease. How do you manage that?
Well, it's been challenging and at the same time it's been deeply encouraging because you see, many warriors are finally seeing themselves as more than their condition because of what I do. I make people understand that you are more than your diagnosis. That your
Yeah.
diagnosis should not keep you in a bubble. You understand? And even as a coach myself, what I do currently, if I'm overwhelmed with work, the work I'm doing, in my office there's a couch.
Oh, great.
There's a couch.
I
So
need to adapt
yeah,
that.
there is. There's a couch that I have in my office. So once I get overwhelmed with work, I just stand up, I lie down. I've learned to start listening to my body as somebody that is well experienced with sickle cell disease. So I try as much as possible to also tell warriors that you need to let your body speak to you.
Yeah.
You understand? So whenever you are overwhelmed, you just pace yourself, take a step back. You understand? Rest. Then you come back to whatever it is you are doing, even if it's just 20 to 30 minutes. that you can give yourself while walking, or even if it's 1 hour, take as much time as you need
Mm.
when you are doing whatever it is you are doing. Then you can get back to it. Because if you decide to just close your eyes to the signs and you're not listening to your body, and you keep
Mm-hmm.
going, you keep going, and you keep going,
Yeah.
it will eventually tell you eventually crash.
Yeah.
I did something very, 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 even for a coach, I knew it was way out of line for me. I still, last week I was so much overwhelmed with work that I didn't take a break at all, even
Mm.
to just rehydrate. I just kept going. I just kept going. I just kept going. That okay, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. And by the time I left the office and when I got home, I knew I'd made a very wrong move that particular day.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, my system was already asking a lot of questions for me that why did I choose to
Not
go
to
all the
listen.
way like this? Yeah, not to listen and all that. So what I did at that point, I knew I was already dehydrated. I just started rehydrating. I started rehydrating, and I took a whole lot of rest that night. I didn't even take much food. I just kept taking fluids, and I took something very light. And by the following morning, I was okay. But I knew that wasn't the way for me. So I made up my mind that day that I know better. So if I'm teaching people
To
to
listen to
actually take care of
themselves.
themselves,
Yeah, take care of
yeah, to
themselves.
listen to themselves and to listen to their bodies, why
Mm.
would
You know, practice
I
what you
do that?
preach.
Yeah, yeah, so I just decided that okay, it's just to let you know that you are not Superman as well. Even if you
Mm-hmm.
know
Mm-hmm.
better, you are not Superman, and you need to pace yourself. So pacing myself has been something that I do that's made me succeed in whatever it is I'm doing. And many, like I said earlier,
Mm.
though warriors are still very hesitant to come in uh for talks, because vulnerability is not something that is easy.
Mm-hmm.
When you
Mm-hmm. I
try
like
to
that. You
lay
you just
everything
jump
there.
you just jump to the
Yeah,
next question. I was about to ask, are
yeah,
they coming?
yeah,
Because I know
yeah.
sometimes I don't know what's in it, but
It
there's this shine out tendency that I often
Yeah,
see with a lot of
yeah,
warrior
yeah.
people living
They
with
they
sickle cell
try to
disease.
shy. Yeah. So to answer that question, initially it was quite difficult, but people don't always like to show their vulnerable sides. But
Mm.
uh, when they get to know that okay, you're also somebody living with that same experience, living with the
Mm-hmm.
same condition, uh, they tend to feel more relaxed. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Then when they're relaxed and they step into the space that I've created, they feel more safe, they feel
Mm-hmm.
empowered, and they feel judgment free. So that way they get to start blossoming. You understand? So
Okay.
I've seen warriors go from hopelessness to launching businesses, and pursuing education, different educational opportunities, and even becoming staunch advocates themselves. So initially, it was very difficult, but as time passed, things started getting different, and started feeling more relaxed, no more vulnerability there. And so I can say it's been quite fulfilling to see that happen in
Hmm.
my line of work.
Now, you do coaching for warriors. Do you also include in what you how you coach warriors? Do you add career coaching? Does it feature in what you do? And if yes,
Yes, absolutely,
what do you
absolutely,
coach
absolutely.
career wise? And do the
Yeah,
warriors you work with, you coach, do you coach
I
them to
actually,
believe they can break the
yeah,
usual
any
norms? That
bad,
is
yeah,
that yeah that
yeah.
cliche that has often been
Yeah.
said to
Yeah.
warriors, that you can't do this or
Yeah.
you can't do that
Yeah.
or you can't, yeah, you can't
You
be
see,
this.
I I actually coach warriors that you can be whatever you want to be. Do you get me now? That you can become the greatest once you put your mind to it, because it's actually very very fulfilling to see that when you're coaching warriors on how to build their careers with their health in mind and not against it. You encourage them on career paths, career selections. Most especially, you can encourage them about remote works. You understand, remote opportunities that can make them develop very well and faster. There's some that have coached that are into personal brandings, that they can work hybrid. You understand, they can do things from wherever they are. So
Yeah.
I don't think sickle cell disease is limiting to the point that you'll not be able to pursue the career. And thank God for the world we live in now. It's a world where skills and um, 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 brands are encouraged. So you can learn to build a career, develop your skills, whether it's information technology or branding or entrepreneurship. You can learn to do that in any area you are or wherever it is you are. It's just that you need to get good, you need to get excellent at what you're doing. So the mindset is what I often always work on first, which is there's an approach that I use. Basically, I use three approaches, which is quite simple. I work on the mindset first, and we from the mindset we go to the mentorship, and we eventually introduce the methods to use to go about that. From first, when you're talking about the mindset, you need to first free the mindset from the mindset of being a victim to being a visionary. You need to have a vision. You need to take yourself out of a space where um, you see yourself as a victim, because I personally have undergone all these stages. That was why I was able to develop this approach. First, we need to change that mindset from the mindset of a victim. You're not a victim, you're a
Right.
visionary. So once you know that you're a visionary, there's nothing you can't achieve wherever you are. You just need to have that vision in your mind and you project it out there, and it becomes something. So once you shift their mindset first, then you go to the mentorship. That's where we plug them into the 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 things they need to do. You understand that okay, you can't function in isolation. You just need to be around people, let them encourage you, let them tutor you, let them guide you. That's where we mentor. That's basically where our own work comes from. You need to let their mind be open to see the possibilities that are out there that they can actually tap into. Then after that, we go to the method in which you can use to achieve that. That's where the strategies come in, and the tools to implement that. So I use my story basically as somebody that is living with sickle cell disease as a proof that there's nothing you cannot achieve
Not to,
once you put
yeah.
your mind to it. So I help them write their own story.
Stories, yeah.
Aside from listening to just my own story, I help them write their own stories as well. And once they start believing in it, then it's just not telling them that it's possible again. They start making it possible themselves. So that's what works. And then when
Yeah,
it comes to people hiring and everything, you know, one thing I have learned over the years is the fact that as when you're comparing a healthy person to somebody that has sickle cell disease, a healthy person can function optimally in 30 days. Okay, the entire 30 days in a month can function optimally. But warriors have like 10 to 15 days. before their red blood cells start breaking down,
Mm-hmm.
where it's not like that in a healthy person's situation in all way. So what you do as a warrior is that okay, you know that okay, you should be able to learn when your cycle is, when the red blood cells start breaking down. If you start at the beginning of the month, you count like let's say maximum of 15 days. Give yourself that 15 days. You utilize that 15 days optimally. But after the 15 days, you know, okay, any moment from now, or your 10 days to 15 days, any moment from now, your blood cells start breaking down. You understand? So you need to place yourself at that period. But that first 10 to 15 days of the month, you can function optimally. And what I've known is that, okay, if a sickle cell disease warrior is functioning optimally during those periods, what they will give you as their output
Mm-hmm.
is going to be triple what somebody, a normal person, will give in 30 days.
Right.
Because, yeah, they're very brilliant, very resourceful, very
Mm-hmm.
creative human beings. So, if given the opportunity and you study them very well, you give them that 10 to 15 days to be productive, they will outperform every other normal person. So, all you need to do
That's
is to be able,
very
yeah,
true. Always very
yeah, all you
intelligent.
need to be able to is to be able to know that about them, give them the opportunity to prove themselves, and they will outperform every normal person around them because that's one compensation God gave us. You
Yeah,
get it now. So
I like this thing you said about you tell them you are not a victim.
yeah,
To
you're not a
remove the
victim, you're a
victim's
visionary.
mentality, and then you
No, no, no,
earlier
no.
spoke about your work in HR. Now
Yeah,
there is always this tendency of underlooking persons with sickle cell disease when it
with
comes
sickle
to
cell disease.
career.
Yeah, yeah,
If you were given a chance to coach your colleagues in HR, for example,
yeah, yeah.
what will be what approach would you take? What would you want to show them so that they would know these people deserve a chance?
An opportunity. Yeah.
And
Okay.
secondly, do you think in HR there should be consideration for access to buildings just like they do for people living with disabilities when it comes to
Yeah,
people living with sickle cell?
yeah. Okay. To answer your
The first
question when
part.
it comes to, yeah, the first one, when it comes to HR,
Yeah,
the first thing I'll tell anybody that is in HR is don't ever judge a book by its cover. Don't
excellent.
judge people by what you feel. Yeah, you don't judge people by their cover. You don't judge by their appearance. Learn to look inwards. Learn to see what the person actually possesses. Give them the opportunity to prove themselves. If they cannot prove themselves in that short period of the just short window you're giving them to prove themselves, then you can now make up your mind that okay, I don't think you have the capability to be able to do this. But if you give them that window, let them shine. Give them the opportunity to shine. Give them the opportunity to show what God has actually put in them.
Given them,
You
yeah.
understand? So yeah, what God has given them. Because in every sickle cell disease warrior, one thing I know basically is that there's a seed that's inside every warrior. All it needs to is to get watered. So you need to be able to water that seed for them. Once you water that seed, it will germinate and it will blossom into such a beautiful tree that you'll be amazed what they can accomplish. But if you don't give them the opportunity to show what God has actually put in them, then you're lost. You won't be able to see it, and you'll just keep using your ignorance to judge. Meanwhile, the truth is there, and you're not exploring that truth. Do you get me now? So
Right,
as
yeah.
far as the HR aspect, that's what I'll coach. Give people the opportunity to be able to show their prowess, to be able to show their potential. You understand? Don't just judge because you feel okay. Man, looking at this person, he will not be able to do this duty. You will not be able to perform this duty or not be able to do this job. No, don't limit them. That's why I keep telling
Especially if the
parents,
person is
caregivers,
coming with maybe a CV that shows that they have that capacity, they have the skills.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So don't limit them. And I also tell parents as well when I have the opportunity to speak to them that come, you don't put your kid in a bubble. You need to be able to allow them spread their wings. No, you can actually teach them on how to manage their body, how to avoid exertion. You understand? How to stay away from stress. But parents are always very worried
Too
about
protective.
okay, what if they say they're too protective, we're very overprotective. Yeah. I've had first-hand experience with that when it comes to stuff like that. But you need to allow them spread their wings. Don't even say it to them that do you think you can do this? You're already limiting them when you're saying things like that. Do you think you can manage this? Do you think you understand? Let them spread those wings that God gave them. You understand? Don't keep them in a bubble. Don't say words that won't encourage them, that will drive them into the rabbit hole that okay, they believe I can't do it. So let me just also assume that I can't do it. But once you encourage them, teach them how to manage their daily lives, teach them how to stay away from stress, teach them how to be able to stay away from exertion. You understand? And leave those wings for them, let them fly. You'll
Yeah,
be surprised how high they can fly. That's
yeah.
one thing I've learned about warriors. There's nothing
and
we
and
can do. There's nothing we can achieve once we set our minds to it.
to do it,
There's nothing
yeah.
that is not achievable.
And,
Yeah,
and what's your take
that's
about like accessibility when it comes to
yeah,
recruiting people
yeah.
living with
When it
sickle
comes
cell?
to
Would you say
you
they should
see, I think
consider putting steps in place?
yeah, you see, what I would advise when it comes to accessibility is companies need to encourage the building of ramps
Yeah.
for warriors, you know, so that that's more accessible to workplaces. You need to be able to access whatever it is you're going with is. Take for example, like for somebody like me now, I would easily choose a ramp over climbing stairs any day, anytime because I already have um, issues with mobility, my walking, so I use walking stick. So definitely I would choose a ramp over climbing stairs. Even though at times you need the stairs for exercise and all that, but I mean it's still there. There are people, there are warriors who are confined to wheelchairs. You need to put all those into consideration for them. It's not that they can't function, but their mobilities are already affected. They they have a vascular necrosis of both hips, and you can't expect somebody with necrosis of both hips to be climbing stairs. Definitely, they will already be confined to the wheelchair. So give them access, but still they will outperform and outshine every other person that have of office given that opportunity. So that's what I would tell my HR colleagues if I had the opportunity of educating them or telling them, okay, this is how you get things done. Those are the things I would actually mention. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much. I have two more questions
Thank
for you. And
you.
last
Okay.
but one question. Would you say there is a need for role models in the sickle cell disease community? Like, we see lots of warriors doing great things, but it's all like closed doors. And there's so many young ones and even older ones who need that kind of, maybe they just need somebody like you, for example, or somebody else who's been out there for them to feel encouraged. Do you think this sickle cell role modeling is something that should be developed within the sickle cell disease community? And what will you say to those warriors who are thriving professionally but
Yeah.
hiding themselves? What will you say to them?
Well, thank you. Like I said, um, or like I would say right now, is that sickle cell role modeling needs to be encouraged because there are a lot of warriors out there who need to say warriors who are thriving in whatever it is they are doing. They need to show those examples for the ones that are still having self doubt as to how to navigate the world and how to adapt to living with sickle cell disease, to living with sickle cell disease. So I think what needs to be done is that those successful ones need to take time to come out. Once need to take time to come out and eventually just show the younger ones that okay, it can be done. It can be done. It's not like you need to just call yourself away. Since
Yeah.
we can do it, there's nothing stopping you from doing it
You
as
from doing
well.
it.
You
Yeah.
understand? So there's a celebrity musician in Nigeria right now who is a sickle cell warrior, Adekunle Gold. He
Yeah.
sings
Yeah.
now. He goes on outreaches to show people that okay, he's been through those challenges as well, and by the special grace of God, he's thriving right now, and he's showing the example to the younger ones that okay, you can actually also do this. You understand? So I mean, examples like that need to be, and then we have people like the Beanie Man as well. Beanie Man has been able to thrive in the music industry as well. He's been able to show the world that okay, you're only limited by your mindset.
Yeah.
The limitation is only in your mind. Once you believe you can do it, then there's nothing you can't achieve. So we have the likes of Miles Davis as well, who played even with Crisis. He played the trumpet. Yeah, Miles Davis was a warrior as well. So people like that. And there are also people who are in the business sector who are thriving, who are warriors. So once in a while, those people need to take time out as well to show the younger ones that there's nothing you can do. It's achievable if you put your mind to it. It's just the mindset, and once you reconfigure your mindset, there's nothing you can achieve. So that's my advice to role modeling and actually encouraging people that are in the thriving, who are thriving in whatever it is they are doing, to actually show it to the younger ones that there's nothing stopping you. There's no way you can achieve whatever it is you set your mind to. All you need to do
That's
is just know
that.
how to manage your
Manage
body.
yourself.
So that's
Yeah.
what I would say. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much
Thank you
for
very much.
speaking
Thank you.
to us
Thank
and
you.
giving
Thank you.
that advice and all of that information. And we hope
Thank you.
that those who are listening would be able to tap from that, because we want a world where persons living with sickle cell disease could thrive and
Yeah. Not just
have
survive.
lives just like everybody else,
Yeah.
jobs,
Yeah.
relationship, and everything. And you
Yeah.
rightly said it, all of that they could have if they just learn to understand themselves, understand their body,
Yeah.
listen to themselves.
Yeah.
You said it, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
great advice. Last question
Yeah.
for you. Tell us one crazy thing you've ever done, even with sickle cell disease.
Woo! Well. I've done quite some crazy things in this life,
I'll
and
share mine. I'll
yeah,
share mine. I got into
no problem.
karate. I got into doing martial
Really?
arts. Yes.
Oh, that's
And I'm
lovely.
heading for a
Nice,
black
nice.
belt.
Wow, wow. That's good. Okay, let me share
so,
mine. Actually,
okay, yes.
um, when I was in the university, I have some friends. I have some friends, and one thing my friends love is racing each other when we're very young. They like racing each other. So that day we had an assignment. It was a project that we needed to submit, and it was time bound, and they were already way behind the time given to us because there was no electricity to get the assignments out there. I can remember very well my friend Olumide Agbola and Yinka Kukoyi. So we left Ogun State. We drove to Unilag so that we could get the assignments sorted. and they both love racing each other. So there was a very short space to pass for both vehicles on the highway because there were two heavy duty trucks moving. You
Mm.
know, and Yinka is a daredevil, so he just he just shunted and just went. I had to hold Olumide's hand that dude, don't you dare, don't you dare follow him because we will make it. But the adrenaline, knowing quite well that that could trigger a crisis for me. I enjoyed it actually. So years later, when I started driving myself, not even in the cars with my friends, I would just go on the Parliament Road and just try to speed up, knowing very well that if my adrenaline is pumped high, it could lead to a crisis situation. But still, I would attempt it because I know that okay, just to ensure that definitely I'm still living for a purpose and just to ensure that the blood are still pumping and I'm doing things that can actually just outweigh the pain. And
Yeah.
also, I've tried to go on outreaches whereby I know that okay, I'm seeing the symptoms of crisis coming, and still I'll embark on whatever outreach or advocacy program I'm going for, just to ensure that okay, people get to learn, and the smile, the hugs, and the hope in the room, it's worth every ache in my body. So it's just a moment that reminds me of the thing why I do what I do,
Yeah.
and that purpose always outweighs the pain. So those are just the my adrenaline drives are always the crazy things I do. I just take a drive just to pump that blood to see okay whether I'm still living and everything is still there. So those are the experiences I've had with doing crazy things. I try as much as possible to always be very cautious when I'm doing things, but those experiences are the ones I can say are the crazy things
Yeah, those little things we
that
do
I
just to
do.
say we're still normal in everything.
Yeah, yeah. So that's just it. That's
That's
just it.
great. So thank you
Thank you.
so much for
Thank you
speaking to
too.
us. It was a great
Thank you
moment
very much.
having
Agree.
to
Actually
having you
refreshing for
as our
me.
guest for this second
Thank you.
edition of Sickle Cell Mentors. And
Thank
thank
you.
you for the time.
Thank
And we
you.
wish you all the best as you continue that really wonderful field you've chosen,
Thank you very
coaching
much. Thank
persons
you.
with sickle cell disease. I think very soon you would have to be adding coaching even those without sickle cell disease for them to
No problem.
to get to
No
understand the
problem.
other side of the
Yeah.
picture, so that we
Yeah.
could start
Yeah.
having communities where there is a grounded
I
or
don't only coach
rounded
sickle cell
information.
warriors. I coach caregivers as well, so that they'll know how to manage
Yeah.
their kids, so that at least you can see the board, the whole picture on how to navigate taking care of SCD warriors, and you also being a caregiver, how you need to be able to manage your life, balance the
Yeah.
the
The
burden of
pressures and
sickle
everything
cell.
involved in
Yeah,
it.
and how you be able to navigate handling the siblings, and there won't be ostracization, there won't be even stigmas within the family and all that.
Within the
So
family.
those are
Yeah.
the things I do as well. Thank you.
Super. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
once
And we
again.
wish you all the best. So that was
Thank
it,
you.
dear listeners, warriors, caregivers, all of you, stakeholders in the sickle cell disease community. That was our second edition of Sickle Cell Disease Mentors with our guest of the day, Folusho Adeosun, Musho for short. And we've had a lot of information. So I think we're going to let you people digest all of that and copy, pinch with pride. Take some of the advice, practice it on you. Remember, as he said, you are not a victim. We are called warriors. You are not a victim. You can do great things.
Yeah,
All you need to
yeah,
do is understand yourself. So
yeah.
don't put any limitations on you. On that note, I wish you a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. Don't forget to hydrate. Bye bye.
Bye.
Yeah.